Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. We're gonna get through this. That's tough because
Floyd Mayweather is taking the IRS to court. The boxer still owes the IRS his 2015 federal income taxes, but Mayweather has asked a tax court for reprieve until after his August 26th fight with Conor McGregor, saying his current assets are, quote, restricted and primarily illiquid. Now, it's unclear how much Mayweather owes the IRS, but in 2015, he had a very big year, reportedly earning between $220 and $230 million for defeating Manny Pacquiao. Now, Mayweather filed the initial petition on July 5th, but the IRS declined, citing he had the means to pay the debt immediately. In the worst-case scenario, if the IRS does not approve his reprieve, a lien could be attached to all of Mayweather's property, at which point the IRS could seize and sell his belongings to pay his.
Floyd's assets were frozen over unpaid taxes, suddenly making the Money Mayweather persona seem far more complicated than the polished image seen on Instagram.
Damn, Floyd Mayweather, Money Mayweather. What, they got you up under the gun again on $25 million in taxes? Hey man, you know, stuff about to get real for you, Floyd, man, because you already owe Gervonta Davis $33 million that you ain't paid him.
Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest boxers of his generation, although some also think about his past legal challenges. But could he now also be the person who uncovered a massive real estate tax evasion scheme? That is the question posed in a new LA Magazine article. The story is called From Ring to Real Estate. Floyd Mayweather exposes a possible mega mansion tax scam.
Reports from the 2010 and 2015 tax years revealed that millions were owed to the IRS, including more than $22 million linked to the Pacquiao payday. In some filings, Floyd even acknowledged that much of his wealth was tied up in assets that were not easily accessible.
But is Floyd broke? What a stupid question. Are you a stupid person? Of course he's broke. He's a boxer that allegedly doesn't know how to read.
Company that's in another state, you don't have to pay this extra exorbitant tax that is supposed to be helping the neediest people in Los Angeles. Karen Bass, you know, is very dedicated to making sure that the homeless situation is cleaned up. This is one of the ways that they're doing it, and it looks like there could be possibly lots of different ways to scam the system.
And Floyd Mayweather is a provocative and controversial figure, but I think this article may make people think about him differently.
Floyd Mayweather's financial story has become increasingly complicated, with reports linking him to IRS issues, disputed deals, and questionable investment claims. One of the biggest controversies emerged in 2025, when he announced that he owned over 60 apartment buildings in New York, presenting it as a major power move.
When you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate, well, lately I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me.
However, investigations found no ownership records under his name. Instead, the properties were largely owned by Black Spruce Management, where Floyd reportedly held only a minority stake. Despite this, he publicly claimed full ownership with no partners, even showcasing the buildings as entirely his own.
I'm point like this because all of them, we're in New York City right now, we're in Manhattan. That's what we do. Come on. All this money made. No partners. All by myself. Over 1,000 apartments. I'm just getting started.
This isn't the first time Floyd Mayweather's real estate claims have raised eyebrows. He previously boasted about owning 9 skyscrapers in New York, even referencing one summit, but became vague when pressed for details such as specific addresses. That inconsistency only fueled further skepticism.
always talk about different things that I'm doing. You know, what I'm working on right now in New York City. I know you guys, if you guys haven't seen one of my buildings, is One Summit, you know.
Yes.
You know, it's actually it's one of the tallest commercial buildings in the world. So just in New York alone, I got 9 skyscrapers.
Yeah. What's the address of that building?
Floyd later defended himself, insisting that while he may be many things, he is not a liar, and even pursued legal action against reports that questioned his claims. Still, the pattern has been difficult for critics to overlook.
This is my first time ever filing a lawsuit against a media company for speaking bad about my company. I'm not a liar. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a liar. I worked hard to build my name, to build my reputation, and I'm not gonna let anyone go out there and smear my name and talk bad about me, talk bad about my family, or talk bad about my company.
Just when the conversation around Floyd's finances and business image starts to feel like a courtroom drama with boxing gloves, Aries Spears jumps in and turns it into something louder, messier, and, at times, a bit uncomfortable. Yet beneath all the noise, there's still a real discussion about fighters, money, and how quickly it can disappear. Aries begins name-dropping figures like Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, and others to highlight the pattern of athletes burning through massive wealth. And while his delivery may be chaotic, the point he's making isn't new.
He's been retired.
Right.
And he's still, flying to Monaco with a bad buying up half the store.
Right. Always flying private.
Yeah.
Does he have his own plane?
Yeah, he does.
He does, right. So that's massively expensive. Even if you own it, the upkeep is huge. Right. Plus all the properties, all the property tax. Yeah, if you're not properly invested, because there was he was saying that he bought this building in the Diamond District, but people are saying that's, the same jeweler said that's actually not true.
Right.
So there's been a lot of stuff like.
We've seen Mike Tyson go from earning hundreds of millions to declaring bankruptcy, not because he lacked income but because his spending had no limits. When Aries jokes about lifestyles where luxury cars are handed out or forgotten like loose change, it sounds exaggerated, until you remember Tyson himself admitted he stopped counting money and simply lived in the moment. Viewed through that same lens, Floyd's situation starts to look different. The IRS issues, constant exhibition fights, and rumors about needing major paydays begin to form a broader picture, not necessarily of financial collapse, but of ongoing pressure.
I interviewed Tyson, he lost like $300 million. Burned through it. They say that you, over the course of your career, made $300 million.
Really? That's what they said.
That's what they said.
Okay.
And then at one point, you filed for bankruptcy and you were in debt. That's an amount of money that's just mind-blowing. 300 million, that's like multi-generational wealth to your great-great-grandkid.
At the same time, Aries indirectly brings Manny Pacquiao into the conversation, and the contrast is striking. Manny's financial narrative has always felt more grounded and structured, even at the height of his massive earnings. Now you have three icons representing very different relationships with wealth. Mike Tyson as the cautionary tale, Floyd Mayweather as the ongoing mystery where business brilliance and excess seem to coexist, and Manny as the quieter counterpoint. Through all the jokes, debates, and bold claims, one truth stands out. Making money at that level is one thing, but keeping it is an entirely different fight.
Pacquiao's rotator cuff was f***ed up. Okay. Now, I know people might go excuse, but his rotator cuff was f***ed up. So I'm saying that to say, given that his rotator cuff won't be f***ed up this time, it's kind of even, they're the same age damn near, and Pacquiao still, fights with fire. This could be a better fight than most people think.
Just when the conversation about money, legacy, and how fighters handle success starts feeling like a financial documentary with boxing highlights, Abel Sanchez steps in like that old-school coach who doesn't care about pay-per-view numbers, Netflix deals, or nostalgia. He's focused on one thing: relevance in the ring right now. Abel bluntly says, "Who cares?" A line that hits like an unexpected jab because it cuts through all the hype immediately. While everyone else is framing the rematch as unfinished business, Abel's basically saying, that chapter closed a long time ago. And when he questions why they didn't fight earlier in their prime, it highlights the frustration hardcore fans have carried for years. We didn't get peak versus peak. Now it's experience versus experience, which may sound poetic, but in boxing, reflexes don't age like fine wine.
I think that's just like some of the, although Jake has proven to be helping a lot of a lot of our fighters, a lot of our girl fighters, but I think that that fight's gone, and they already have one. We don't need another one. If they want to do it for entertainment for the fans, that's great. Good money for them. But as far as a real thing, no.
But then the conversation flips again. Even as Abel dismisses the fight from a competitive standpoint, he unintentionally strengthens the business case. He admits it's about money, nothing else. And that's exactly why it works. While he advocates for young fighters, arguing that the new generation deserves the spotlight, those same fighters don't yet have the name recognition to draw casual fans the way Floyd and Manny still can. That contradiction makes the situation fascinating. Abel speaks the language of pure boxing, development, timing, legacy building, while promoters speak a completely different language: attention, numbers, and global reach. When Abel points out that fighters often improve after tasting defeat, it adds another layer, because Floyd built his brand on never tasting it, while Manny built his on surviving it. Now we're in a strange scenario. One man protected perfection, the other embraced adversity, and years later, the fight is still being sold as unfinished business. Abel may not care, but the machine definitely does.
Floyd, every time you see Floyd, he looks like he could fight the next day. I mean, he looks in great shape. He looks like a man that takes care of himself. But really, what is the plus for that fight other than
money?
Yeah, why aren't we putting the young guys in the spotlight? Why are we not? Let's just say the young man that I worked the corner with the other day, Barboza. Why can't they put him against a Haney or a Garcia or something? Give them the stage. These are the guys coming up.
And just when Abel is basically filing this fight under expired but still selling, Keishan Davis jumps in with an active fighter's perspective that hits differently because he's still in the fire, not watching from the porch. He calls the matchup legendary but immediately frames it as a different fight now. I like that, because he isn't pretending it's 2015 with better lighting. Then he leans on Floyd, and you can hear the fighter logic kicking in, not fan emotion. He says Floyd won the last one, so he's still the measuring stick. That's how fighters think. Your last real statement becomes your identity. But then he drops the curveball. Both guys' reflexes aren't the same. Boom. Reality check. No disrespect, just physics. And I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, that's the quiet truth nobody promoting this event wants plastered on a poster.
Keyshawn, your thoughts on Mayweather and Pacquiao, September?
It's a legendary fight, you know. I feel like it's going to be a different fight now that, you know, they're at two different ages. You know, they well out of retirement, well, past retirement, well, whatever you say. You know, so they both retired for a long time. And I think it's going to be a different fight, so the fans are definitely going to be in tune.
Who you get advantage to, Keyshawn? Who you get advantage to, Floyd or Pacquiao?
Floyd for sure. Because he already won the first time. You only as good as your last performance, you know what I'm saying? Last performance, Floyd.
He still gives Manny his respect too, pointing to his performance against a younger opponent. And suddenly you've got this tug-of-war. Experience versus activity, timing versus mileage, sharpness versus survival. Then Keishan casually notes that Floyd has been more active in retirement with exhibitions. That's funny, because exhibitions used to be side quests. Now they are being cited as evidence in debates. That's where boxing lives in 2026. I love how he closes by talking about what fans actually want, referencing fights like Pitbull vs. Cruz, showing that the future is knocking while the past is still selling tickets. So now you've got Abel saying this doesn't matter, Keishan saying it's different but Floyd still has it, and me realizing both can be true at the same time. Technically, it's not the fight we needed, but culturally, it's loud enough that everyone, even those claiming they won't watch, is already halfway tuned in.
Our age, when they talk about reflexes and timing go as a fighter, you think his time and his reflexes will still be there?
No, both of their reflexes and timing still ain't there. But I'm going to say this too, though. Pacquiao's last performance was crazy against a younger fighter, too. You know, but Floyd also been doing a lot of exhibitions, so they both been like kind of active, you know what I'm saying? But I gotta judge off their last fight. You know what I'm saying? Before Pacquiao fought Barrios, he fighting a very long time. You know, but Floyd had probably like 2-3 exhibitions. Floyd even fought Logan Paul. He a young kid, so Floyd is the more active retirement fighter.
Stays in shape.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
stays in shape.
I got Floyd.
When you step back and look at the whole picture, this isn't just about a rematch, it's about everything orbiting these names. Floyd's financial headlines, whether exaggerated or not, add tension to a man whose identity is built on control and excess. Tyson stands as a living reminder of how quickly fortunes can flip when discipline slips. Manny sits in the middle as the calm contrast, less noise, more structure. Then you've got voices like Abel Sanchez cutting through the hype, saying this fight doesn't matter competitively, while Keishan Davis brings a fighter's perspective, reminding us that legacy still carries weight even as time catches up. And that's the real clash here, not just Floyd versus Manny, but past versus present, business versus boxing, nostalgia versus reality. Deep down, we all know this isn't the fight we once dreamed of, but it's still a fight the world is going to watch. That's the power of names, history, and a sport that never really lets go of its icons.
I got
Floyd. Chat, who y'all got, chat? Tell me who y'all got. Floyd and Pacquiao.
I got Floyd. You ever thought about getting that Pitbull Cruz? Y'all both defense would be crazy.
Yeah, for sure. But like, y'all got like, I just gotta be real with myself. Like, I'm really in the sport of boxing, so I really know what people want and don't want. Right. So some things I just don't entertain.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I would love to fight Pitbull Cruz. Mexican versus black, it always sells. Period. In boxing, the sport of boxing. So I would love to fight Pitbull Cruz, but you know, it takes two to tango.
Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's really talk about it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Insider Hub. See you in the next one.